911, what is your emergency?
Every day, emergency services call handlers expertly deal with those in desperate situations.
When we pick up 911, you never know what type of call you'll answer.
Taking calls from terrified victims.
It is not a joke. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna bleed to death, I'm afraid.
No, you're not, sir.
To listening to cold-blooded killers.
My friend and I got into an altercation. I am the only one who came out alive.
Are you telling me you killed somebody?
These are the stories behind the emergency call.
I can honestly say I could never have been trained enough for that call doctor.
With never-before-seen footage, we explore the real story behind the most shocking emergency calls.
My son fell in with a gorilla. He's dragging my son. I can't watch this.
Gilchrist County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and when you get here, I'm going to shoot myself.
What is the address that you're at, sir?
2550 Northwest, 25 Terrace, Don Spirit. Every one of them are dead.
Bell's a farming community, close-knit community where everybody pretty much knows everybody there. The patrol units patrol regularly up here, at least once or twice a day. We have your average people falling out and thefts, burglaries, but nothing of major significance.
But on the 18th of September 2014, a shocking emergency call was made which tore this close-knit community apart.
It was like a normal day. I was sitting in my office. The sheriff had walked up to my door, which was open, and said, we're getting a call at the Spirit residence that it could be a possible shooting. Don Spirit was on the phone letting dispatch know what was going on.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and when you get here, I'm going to shoot myself.
So we immediately got into the vehicle and started heading in the direction of the residence.
Unit scope for 148 North St. Andrews, Prowler heard not seen. What is the address that you're at, sir?
2550 Northwest, 25 Terrace, Don Spirit.
I knew of Don Spirit. I did not personally know him. I had never met him, but I knew of him and of the Spirit family.
51-year-old Don Spirit moved with his family to Bell in 1998. Known to local law enforcement, Spirit had spent the past 20 years in and out of prison on drugs and battery charges. And the local sheriff's department were regularly called to his trailer on the northwest side of town.
Most of the calls that when we responded to the Spirit family were for check on welfare or domestic-related situations.
Don Spirit, you knew where you stood with him. I've had a couple of run-ins with him. If he told you something, I mean, it was true, and that was the way he felt. We didn't take it lightly when we dealt with him. So anytime we got a call for his house, we were on high alert.
How long ago this happened, Don?
I don't want to hear it, man. I'm done with every thing. Just bring the motherfuckers out here, that's all. You got all the kids are dead in the house.
As we were responding, we knew they were having a dialogue with him on the telephone, and it seemed as he was waiting for law enforcement to get there.
You said your name is Don Spirit?
Yep.
All right, Don, what kind of gun do you have?
It doesn't matter what kind of gun I got. They're all dead, and then when you get here, I'll shoot myself. And then you figure out what kind of gun it is.
I've done this job for 30-plus years. I've responded to a lot of calls in progress. As you're responding there, you're kind of getting a game plan in your head. I remember thinking to myself, you know, how are we going to approach this? I'll just wait till I get there. We'll have to assess how we're going to approach the scene. We're just going to take this step by step.
Responding up here, we were high alert. Didn't know what to expect. I knew there was going to be something based on his statements and his demeanor and past relationship with him, knowing if he said he did something, that he did it. You know, we expected to find something, but not to the magnitude of what we found.
Okay, how many people?
1 adult. 6 kids.
6 kids and 1 adult?
Yeah. One of them is a baby.
All right, Don, is there any way you can stay on the phone with me till I get somebody there to help you?
What's that?
Can I have you stay on the phone with me?
No, not that. I'm waiting for them to get here. When they get here, I'm going to shoot myself on my back step. All I'm doing is waiting for them.
So you're sitting on your back steps?
Yep.
Okay, Don.
As I turned the corner on Northwest 29th Terrace that day, we had one deputy car that was already there. The deputy had stopped just shy of the residence. He could see Don Spirit out in the yard, and the deputy was trying to have a verbal communication with Spirit.
Stay out here where I can see you. Stay out here where I can see you.
He was angry, very belligerent, yelling out profanities, unwilling to cooperate, unwilling to talk to us, unwilling to pretty much tell us anything.
Come on.
Subject still, he's walking the back of the trailer now.
Stay out here where I can see you.
We took cover behind vehicles. We're trying to speak with him, talk with him. He was yelling out. He didn't want anybody on his property. We tried to ascertain what had happened, and he said, my daughter is laying out here in the yard under this tarp.
28-year-old Sarah Spirit lived in her father's trailer with her 6 children. Described as an upbeat woman with a good heart, Sarah had serious problems of her own. Living in extreme poverty, she had numerous run-ins with the law for theft, battery, and drug use. Social services were regularly called to the property over reports of child neglect and abuse.
Immediately, he goes around the house, and we lose sight of him.
Did he say how he killed him?
With a gun, and I don't know if it's a long gun or it's a pistol. He says it's inside the trailer.
What's the name, Don?
Yeah, Don, what you got in his hand? What you got in his right hand? What you got in your hand, Don? Let me see both hands. Let me see both hands. All right, as that, come on.
Sure enough, he came back around the house. He had a pistol in his right hand. Had his hand down by his side. Immediately, I raised my rifle. And at that point, he pulls a pistol up to his head.
We probably got to get it to the back now.
He shot himself. He shot himself. We need to rescue him. Hey, be careful.
We didn't know if there was anyone else inside the house, alive or not. So we had that team and we moved towards the residence. We moved towards Don's Spirit. We got to Don, realized that he had shot himself, self-inflicted gun wound. We secured the weapon that was by him, and then we made entry into the house.
They pull the door open, I go in first.
Holy.
We found the first child was just inside the door, has been shot.
I then remembered going to my right. We went into a bedroom. It was there we saw 2 more victims.
We got 2 in here.
As I come down, I look at the couch, and it was a baby on the couch. And I get closer, and it's approximately at the time, I think it was a 3-month-old baby. As I go further into the room, I see 2 more kids in the back bedroom. They had been shot also.
Clear back here. We got 1 closet. Hey, this one's alive. One closet.
Is that the one?
Yeah. His eyes are moving. Hey, little man, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
The house was in disarray. The stove had been pulled away from the wall. The refrigerator had been turned over, and food was all over the floor from the refrigerator and the freezer. From what I'm assuming by looking at some of the marks on Sarah, she got into a fight with him. She was trying to get away from him.
Did they say clear?
Yeah.
Clear.
Clear.
Chris, I'm at you.
Back out. All right. Everybody back out to the station to that white truck. We got 5 inside.
So the one kid, the one in the hallway's not alive, so Scotty saw his eyes.
She said there's no pulse.
Okay.
Thanks.
No one survived this incident.
Be right after we come out of the house, and I know that Sergeant Jenkins and I were the first 2 to went in there, and I consider Edwin a good friend, and I know what he was feeling, and I know what I was feeling, and I was just telling him, look, you know, I can't believe what we just saw, and I'm going to be there for you, and I know you're there for me, and we'll get through this the best we can. And I think we're both stunned at that point, trying to figure out how or why something like that could happen.
I volunteered for this story because I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to more or less understand why this happened. I remember taking the long drive here, and I remember being on my computer the whole time, trying to learn anything I could through court records, anything I could that might in some way paint a picture here, because you think to yourself, how does any father, any grandfather do this? Don's spirit was a person who was truly damaged. If you ask anyone who knew him, if you look at any court records, the one event that truly changed him as a person forever was the day he accidentally shot and killed his son Kyle.
In 2001, whilst out hunting with his sons Joshua and Kyle, Don's spirit pointed out rust on the muzzle of his high-powered Browning rifle. The rifle fired and a bullet hit his 8-year-old son Kyle in the head.
It was an accident, and one of the issues that came from that was he was a convicted felon. Legally, he should not have had access to that firearm. He should not have been in possession of it. If you ask anybody who knew Don's spirit, you know that event was the one true event that changed his soul, changed who he was as a person.
Although he was not prosecuted for his son's accidental death, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison for possessing a firearm.
That was an event that stayed with him for the rest of his life. It affected everything. It was the type of situation that you just cannot, as a human, you cannot fully heal from that. It was a burden he carried. It was a burden he carried till the end.
Upon his release from prison, the family moved to Bell for a fresh start, but they soon spiraled out of control and lived in a cycle of extreme poverty, drug addiction, and domestic abuse.
On the day of these killings, Don's spirit got into some kind of altercation with his daughter. He stabbed her 6 times, he beat her with the butt of a gun, and he shot her. It got completely out of hand, and then he didn't know what he was going to do. He covered up Sarah's body outside, and then he went back inside where the children were, and at some point he made the decision to kill those children.
11-year-old Caleb, 9-year-old Kylie, 8-year-old Jonathan, 5-year-old Destiny, and 4-year-old Brandon all died from gunshot wounds to the head, and 10-week-old Alana was shot in the torso.
Gilchrist County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I just shot my daughter and shot all my grandkids, and I'll be sitting on my step, and when you skid here, I'm going to shoot myself.
It's not unusual for killers to call the police straight after what they have done and confess and say to the police, come on, come and get me. They will be calm afterwards because they have done what they set out to do. It's all done, and it's not unusual for them to feel some relief. But it's also not unusual for the brain to kind of compensate for trauma, and there are sort of calming hormones that can be produced. He knew what he'd done. He knew what he'd done. He wasn't unused to violence. He had even experienced killing somebody before. At that point, he probably just wanted it over.
We probably got to get it to the back now.
He shot himself.
If it was that bad, why didn't he just take his own life, and spare them? Because they still had their life to live, and and however that was going to progress. That today, I don't understand that, never have, and probably never will. What drove him to do that?
That scene at the Spirit residence was probably one of the worst that I've dealt with. I've never seen anyone do this to family members in my entire 28.5 years, not to this magnitude. It was a traumatic incident, very traumatic. I still think about this case. I mean, it will never go away. Every time I drive past that property, I think about it. I can see it as if it happened yesterday. And to this day, people are still coping with it. So it's something that they will never forget. Don Spirit was an evil man that didn't deserve the generosity that some people showed him. And in my opinion, the world is a better place without him. Unfortunately, he had to interrupt other lives and take other people's lives with him.
Take it off.
What's the case of the emergency?
Hello. My name is Google Ryder. I'd like to report for domestic violence. My son and my daughter fight, physically fight. I'm taking my daughter to emergency room right now, and I believe my son is still in my house. Wait again, kill us!
And who is at the house right now with your...
My son.
Okay.
And with his girlfriend, I think. The friend of girl, whatever.
Okay, how old is the son?
He's 19.
19, okay.
Oh, he's trying to kill him. I was scared for my life. I died for not to kill him.
Tamika Ryder called 911. They were driving to the hospital. Her daughter Mindy was in the background screaming,
I was scared for my life.
saying that her brother Johnny was attempting to kill her.
I died for not to kill her.
Arriving home with her boyfriend, Mindy discovered her brother in her bedroom, rummaging through her drawers. She confronted him, but Johnny became violent and started attacking her boyfriend with a hammer. As she tried to stop the assault, Mindy was attacked with a baseball bat by Johnny's girlfriend.
Yeah. Has he been drinking or doing any drugs?
I'm sorry?
Has he been drinking or doing any drugs?
Xanax, maybe weed, alcohol, Xanax, weed, or alcohol.
Okay.
19-year-old Johnny Ryder was known to police. He had previously been arrested and bailed for credit card theft, possession of tools during a crime, and obstructing a law enforcement officer. Gwinnett County Police immediately dispatched officers to the Ryder residence.
When officers arrived on scene, the front door was open and the garage door was open. Officers made entry through the open front door. While inside, they located different style weapons such as machete, pellet gun, rifle. They also noticed some blood smearing on the floor too. Johnny and the girlfriend were not in there. We did not know who Johnny's girlfriend was other than just a girlfriend.
Does your son have any weapons at the house?
They have hammers on the back.
Okay.
Our first goal is to find out where they are, the locations of them, because you don't know if he's going to harm somebody else. When officers were at the scene, the garage door was open. They located a Mazda Tribute inside the garage. When the officers ran the plates on the Mazda, the registered owners were Randall and Wendy Bjorg, and they were missing people on the system.
Gwinnett County Police.
Hi, my name is Sylvia Berman. I'm calling from California. I have not been able to reach my sister-in-law for a few days, and I just got a call from a relative that said her husband hasn't been at work either, and I'm just really concerned.
So when was the last time you heard from him?
Well, it's been days. Last Saturday was the text that I got, the last text that I had from her.
The uniform responded to Randall and Wendy's residence. They looked in the windows, knocked on the door. Doors were secure. Nothing suspicious appeared to happen inside, so no report was taken at that time. Sylvia then contacted law enforcement again.
I've been calling about my brother and my sister-in-law seem to be missing. I'd like someone to maybe go by the house again and check, knock on the door. I received a couple of texts from my sister-in-law's phone that don't seem like her.
Okay, what'd they say?
And we hadn't heard from her for days, and she said, oh, lost my phone, I'm okay. And I texted her and I said, I need to find out, Randall's work is looking for him. I need you to call me. And she said, oh, he lost his phone too, but he's just sick, he's been home. And then I said, that's not good enough, I need to hear your voice. And she didn't call me back.
Uniform went back out there and basically did the same thing, seeing if lights were on, door secure, vehicles in the driveway, and nothing changed.
With Randall and Wendy Bjorg reported missing and their vehicle discovered at the scene of an aggravated assault, Gwinnett County Police Department sent several units back to their house. This time, they forced entry.
When uniformed officers forced entry, they located a living room in disarray. When they walked up to the second floor, they located a sealed bedroom door. When they forced entry, they located Randall deceased, lying on his back on his bed. Randall's body was in moderate to severe decomposition. The room was in disarray, and there was blood spatter on the walls, on the bed. It looked like a very violent scene. Uniform then proceeded to the second sealed door, forced entry, and a female, which was Wendy, was lying on the bathroom floor, deceased. Then contacted other homicide detectives at Gwinnett County Police Headquarters, and I had them run the address. They were able to advise that Randall and Wendy had custody of Cassie Bjork.
17-year-old Cassie was Wendy and Randall's granddaughter, who had been living with them for the past 18 months.
They're in the middle of a pretty terrible, difficult custody case with their granddaughter. The girl's a runaway right now. She ran away a couple of weeks ago. I did speak with her probation officer, who is also concerned. So there's this kind of terrible dynamic going on there.
And we also learned that Cassie was the girlfriend of Johnny Ryder.
With an aggravated assault at Johnny Ryder's house and a double homicide at Cassie's grandparents' house, the couple quickly became the only suspects. And the hunt was on to apprehend these dangerous criminals. Detectives began by pinging Johnny, Cassie, and her grandparents' mobile phones. They were all switched off, except for Wendy's, which was registering in an apartment complex 5 miles away.
Undercover officers responded to the apartment in Swanee. They located Mindy's vehicle, which was a Nissan Xterra, and she basically reported that vehicle as stolen. They noticed a person that looked like Johnny Ryder having a cigarette on the patio. At this time, due to the violent nature, we contacted the Gwinnett County Police SWAT team.
When the SWAT team arrived, they instructed all to come out of the apartment.
3 occupants did come outside. Those 3 occupants were interviewed, and we received definite information that Cassie and Johnny were inside that apartment.
SWAT teams attempted to communicate with Cassie and Johnny, but no contact was made with them.
We then sent a robot in. They located Johnny and Cassie lying on the floor, and it appeared that they committed suicide. Now it changes from let's place these individuals under arrest to now we have to render aid, and they were rushed to the hospital.
Johnny and Cassie were still alive, but had self-inflicted stab wounds from their suicide attempt. The following day, Johnny was interviewed by detectives at the hospital.
Have I been charged with anything, or am I just a suspect? Another officer told me. They were like, you're here because you're a suspect. I said, a suspect for what?
The interview with Johnny didn't go too far.
Are you okay talking with us right now without an attorney?
I don't really feel comfortable talking.
He asked for his lawyer, didn't want to talk to us.
If you don't want to talk to us, you want your attorney, that's fine, we'll leave you alone.
Cassie was transported to the district attorney's office, where she was interviewed.
There's some things, Cassie, that we already know. It doesn't look that good for you. You're a smart girl. So we need to get your side of the story, but we also need to get the truth.
She was very blunt and forthcoming.
It was like a couple of days after my grandma kicked me out.
So a week or so ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what happened. You and Johnny went over to the house.
He parked his car down the road and we snuck into the back. We go upstairs. Johnny goes into my grandpa's room. I go into my grandma's room.
She explained that Johnny's job was to take care of the grandfather.
What did Johnny do to your grandpa?
He beat him.
With his fists? What else?
He got a knife, like a big kitchen knife. He stabbed him. And then that's when he slit his throat. That's when he was dead.
And her job was to take care of the grandmother.
What'd you hit her with?
The metal bar.
Where did you hit her?
In the head, all over her body.
Okay.
The first assault on Wendy was actually in her bedroom. And then Cassie dragged Wendy out of her bedroom into the bathroom. Johnny then slit Wendy's throat.
He was the one who, like, ended it for both of them. Because I couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Cassie's very petite, very soft-spoken, but come to find out during an interview that Cassie was the brains behind this.
After violently murdering her grandparents, Cassie used her grandmother's telephone and ordered a Chinese takeaway. The couple then poured bleach over Randall's body and sealed the bedroom and bathroom doors with masking tape in an attempt to cover up the smell of the decomposing bodies. They then invited friends over to party in the house.
Look at me. I need to know, what was it that made you do this?
It's just, I don't know, everything just started, like, exploding. And then it just, like, created more explosions. And then, like my grandparents and me, you know, we kept getting into, like, more arguments. And then just more tension just, like, kept building up. And then, like, I couldn't take it anymore. Like, I just honestly, like, I just hated my life, you know? Like, I didn't know what to do. I just got, like, really depressed, just angry, and then, like, and this happened.
After spending days smoking marijuana in her grandparents' house with their bodies concealed upstairs, Cassie and Johnny then formulated a plan to kill his family.
That night was crazy. Like, it was just, I don't really know why that all happened. I don't know what was going on with Johnny and his mom. I knew that they were having problems. Like, I knew that, you know,
After you were gonna kill his family, what were y'all gonna do then?
they were gonna go to school.
Did y'all think you were gonna get away with it?
Yeah.
17-year-old Cassie Bjorge and 19-year-old Johnny Ryder pleaded guilty to the murders of Wendy and Randall Bjorge and the aggravated assault on Johnny's sister and her boyfriend. They were both sentenced to life in prison.
Westminster 911.
I live at 4989 West Under and 18th Court.
4989.
He's breaking in my house right now.
4989.
He's breaking in my house.
Listen to me. Who is it?
I don't know who he is. He's getting in now. Hurry.
Okay. And you don't know this person?
No, hurry. Hurry, he's getting in.
Just stay on the phone with me.
I can't find my daughter. She's 11. She was outside.
Your daughter's 11 and was outside?
Yes, and I can't find her.
Westminster is a great neighborhood. We were a really tight-knit community. Everybody knows everybody in the neighborhood. My husband and I moved from California to Colorado, fell upon that home, fell in love with it, and raised all three children there, Gabe, AJ, and Hannah.
Growing up in that area was great. I had a lot of friends in the neighborhood. There was always kids around, a lot of playing in the front yard, playing basketball, and it was a great neighborhood to grow up in.
We were having a regular day. AJ was going to play in a basketball tournament. He was on the basketball team for his high school. AJ was 17 at the time, and Hannah was outside playing, and she was 11. I walked outside to see Hannah just to give her a 5-minute call before we were ready to leave, and that's when I noticed that I did not see her.
Hurry, please.
Ma'am,
I'm coming.
we've dispatched officers. I'm just keeping you on the phone, okay?
My instinct told me to look again for Hannah, which I did, and I still didn't see her. And that's when I noticed that there was a strange person looking right at me from across the street. He was just standing there staring at me, and I didn't recognize him. He was looking at me in a way that he knew who I was, but I didn't know who he was. It made me feel really uneasy. My heart started to pump. I felt like things were escalating. So I remember turning around and walking fast into the garage. When I got to the garage, I felt him coming towards me, and I got into the house and bolt locked the exterior door. I went to the front of the home to look through the windows. I didn't see him. I didn't hear any noise. The first thing that came to my mind was, what did you do with my daughter? I started to get a little concerned, and that's when I heard him kick the door. The aggressiveness of that kick shook the whole home. I immediately ran upstairs.
When Mom came running upstairs, she said, someone's coming, someone's breaking in, someone's coming, call 911. I didn't really know what was going on, but I could tell that something was obviously wrong.
He's in my garage. Please hurry. Hurry, please.
Ma'am,
I'm coming.
we've dispatched officers. Okay? Can you hear me, Teresa?
When Teresa Middleton called, she was extremely panicked, saying that someone was breaking into her house. And I could tell that she was moving, and I couldn't tell what was really going on.
No, hurry. Hurry, he's getting in.
I knew it was just a matter of time before he actually broke the door down, just by the sheer movement of the home. As he's kicking down the door, he is yelling at me in a very monstrous voice that he needs to get in. He's coming to get me. I'm gonna get you. It was terrifying. I needed help, and I needed it now.
Stay on the phone with me, okay?
Hurry, please.
I'm trying to figure out a way out, and I'm upstairs and he's downstairs. And it dawns on me that I can jump out a window.
Please.
Okay, I got you on the phone, and I just am going to get information from you. Where are you now?
No.
Listen.
Oh, we're jumping out the window.
You're going out the window?
AJ just said, we're not jumping out the window. And so I said, okay.
Are you going out the back window?
No, I can't. I'm on the second floor.
I continued to try to figure out what's the safest place. And that's how I got into the closet.
She's coming in. Get under there. Get under there.
She knew that he didn't know I was there, and she wanted to protect me at all costs. She directed me to go to the back of the closet. You really couldn't see me unless you were looking for me.
As Teresa and AJ hide in the closet, they heard the intruder kick down the garage door and make entry into their home.
He's in the house.
Okay, Teresa, don't talk. If you can't talk, don't talk. You don't know this guy, right? Stay on the phone with me, okay?
When he came through the door, his voice changed and he said, "Hello, is anybody home?"
She's coming up right now.
When Teresa said he was in the house, I could feel my heart start racing. I could tell how scared she was, and you can tell that they're in imminent danger. It's a very scary feeling inside, and you just want to help them so much.
She's coming in my room.
Okay, just set the phone down.
I could hear him slamming doors and opening closets and looking for us as he continues to tell me he's going to get me. Where am I? Where are you? I'm gonna get you.
He's looking for me. Are they here?
You know, I have a couple officers that are in that area right now.
Hurry, please.
I know.
She's coming in. She's coming in. She's coming in. She's coming in. She's in my room.
Ma'am?
Come.
Teresa, just stay on the phone. Don't talk.
I looked around the closet, tried to look for something to maybe protect myself. There wasn't anything in there. So I grabbed that door and I anchored down and I put all my weight on that door and I wasn't gonna let him in.
She was pulling very hard with everything that she had. The door pulled back towards him, so she would have to continuously pull it back.
I knew that it was just a matter of time. He was pulling, I was pulling back, and he would be pulling. That's when, he was, let me in. And I turned around and told AJ, I won't be able to hold on for long, but please just stay there. You know, don't try to save me.
Teresa, just stay on the phone. Don't talk.
I can't hold on much longer, so I need him to let go. So my instincts just said to ask him what he even wanted.
Tell me what you want. I'll give you whatever you want. Tell me what you want.
Yes.
You know what I want? No, I don't. I'll give it to you. Just tell me what you want. I want the door. Tell me what you want. You want money? Yes. Okay, I'll give you money. How much do you want? All of it. Okay, and what else do you want? Do you want jewelry? Yeah.
I remember thinking, he has to let go of the store. So I thought, if I offer him a TV, maybe he'll let go because he'll start pulling it out of the wall. So I said, do you want TVs? And he said, yes.
I'll give it all to you. Okay. Start taking the TVs.
Ma'am, you're doing
Start
great.
taking the TVs.
I can hear him wrestling with the TV. And then at that moment, I hear the officer come in.
The intruder was 23-year-old Benjamin Suffel. He was under the influence of drugs or alcohol at the time of the break-in.
Can I come out?
Don't go out yet, Teresa. Don't go out until I tell you.
I did feel the sense of relief once I heard the officers take him into custody, and then she announced that she didn't know where her daughter was.
I can't find my daughter.
Okay, where is...
My daughter's 11. She's 11. She was outside.
Your daughter's 11 and was outside?
And I was like, oh my gosh, where is her daughter? And is she safe? And I just couldn't even figure out why I didn't know the daughter was missing in the beginning.
Tell them please to look for my daughter outside.
I will. Stay on the phone with me, okay?
The first thing I did was start typing that into the notes so that the dispatcher knew as well. Because we had several officers that were on scene that weren't inside the residence as well, so then they could start looking for her.
Teresa, what's your daughter's name?
Hannah.
Hannah? I have a lot of officers there, so don't worry.
I can't find my daughter.
Teresa, are they telling you to open the door?
No, we got it.
Teresa?
Yes.
Are they talking to you now?
Yeah. I don't even know who this guy is.
Okay, you did great. You did fantastic.
I think I was still standing in the closet when Barb says, we've located your daughter and she's fine. And then that's when I felt a sense of, okay, I'm gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Hannah had been playing outside the whole time, oblivious to the terrifying ordeal her mother and brother were going through.
It was hard to explain the magnitude of how close I got to what I thought was gonna be the end of my life. Life is short. You just don't know if you have a tomorrow.
Benjamin Suffel was charged with first-degree burglary and sentenced to serve 7 years in prison.
He made a bad decision. Growing up is tough sometimes, and whatever was happening in his life or in his world at that time, he felt that he needed to do whatever it was that he was doing, and now he has a second chance. And I would hope that he is doing better. My kids feel very fortunate that everything they needed for school or to be successful, they had in their home. You can't apply for a job today without having some sort of a computer or access to internet. Here at Human IT, we bring in unwanted technology, usually from large companies or anyone who's willing to donate a computer that they don't have use for. We have a whole team that will put in new operating systems in them, and we can give them out to the community or anyone who is in need of a computer. The ultimate for us would be that every home has a computer or some type of technology, an internet system, to keep them connected.